Hello YouTube, we meet again. Thank you for watching Zen Forum. I'm your host Zen. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit a like, definitely comment, subscribe, share with a friend. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
What? Let's go. Hunt around, bitch, with my hoes. Hunt around, bitch, with my clothes. Hunt around, bitch, with my pole. Hunt around, bitch, with my dough. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Taking these, 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 taking these.
Today, I have the unfortunate job of breaking down the power scaling of Demon Slayer. And in my previous video, which I'll link in the description, in the previous video I talked about Demon Slayer Season 2 and just why, as we're going on, I believe the power scaling is going to become more and more of an issue. And I don't see it going away because just the way they're writing the characters and the story, they better like take some time and, you know, try and, I don't know, they better try and like solder those wounds and like just put something over those wounds before like it just becomes infected, because at this point the power scaling is just getting out of hand, at least to me. And I'm a guy that I like to say I've watched enough shonen manga in my day, shonen anime, or just I've been around the space long enough to know when the show has horrible power scaling. But let me get into some reasons why I think the power scaling definitely needs to be worked on. Okay, so the first reason is there is no governing power or power that be that's like the basically point of, basically what I'm trying to say is there is no standard for power scaling in this show. Like even the master, the blind master, I'm forgetting his name right now, the one that's like sickly and on his deathbed, he's the master of all the Demon Slayer Corps, but he's weak and sickly. Unless he has some like hidden power that we're gonna get to, or maybe the manga guys may know about it, don't spoil it. Yeah, if they know about it then maybe, but other than that he seems pretty weak. So, and if he's the master of all the Hashira, it's just like, so who's the strongest? I guess we don't know. And then we go to Muzan, which is the head demon. So obviously we know that he's the strongest, yes, but it's kind of weird because like they like meet him so soon, like literally, like I think in season 1 like Tanjiro just smells him out randomly, and then it's just, so it just doesn't really like make sense. Like you would think there would take some time and some build up and we wouldn't see him for a while, and then we finally meet him after we've defeated a couple upper ranks, you know, a couple demons, but like we see him way too early in the season. And yes, he's the strongest demon and like that's been shown, but we never really see him fighting, so it's like kind of hard to tell matched up against who, like how strong is he, you know what I mean? So in there's no, in the losing of a standard, we don't have the ability to know how strong the other characters are, as opposed to in animes like One Punch Man and Mob Psycho, where I think that mangaka does the best at power scaling because the main character, the main protagonist is the standard. They are the strongest character. So every other character scaling is based on the main character's strength. Like even Mob though, and that's why they have the whole progress to Mob's explosion kind of thing. Then he gets to 100% and no one should technically be able to beat him. He still does have a hard time fighting some villains, but for the most part, no one can see Mob once he hits 100% explosion. And then once he hits that question mark form where no one really knows what he's doing, that I wouldn't even call it rage, he's just like basically a whole nother person. No one can defeat him. That's the strongest. He's basically God. Like that's basically God of the show. And Saitama as well, no one can defeat him, so he is the standard. All the villains like match up to him. Like Boros, we know Boros was very strong because he was, I mean, he didn't really give Saitama a challenge, but I mean, it seemed like Saitama was trying. He gave a serious punch, which he never does do for other enemies. So that's the power scaling right there, when I think it's a good way to scale things. It's a bit funny, a bit comical, but it makes sense and it works. Another issue with the power scaling is there is no power system yet. Quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, because there might be. I might be missing something, but as of yet, there is no power system. With any good manga, you always know there's always some type of power system. With Naruto, you have chakra. With Hunter x Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, whatever you guys want to call it, don't fucking murder me. Hunter x Hunter, you have Nen and N, I believe, but there's a power system there, whereas you can base it off people, and there's limits to that power, because yes, you can have an affinity for some things, but you can't do it all. So that gives some limitation, and that gives some like understanding to the thing. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if there were no rules to the card game, then the game wouldn't really be fun, and it wouldn't be a game, because you could just do whatever you want. But it's kind of like and that's my problem with Demon Slayer. People just kind of like low-level guys beat high-ranking demons, and like just through sheer will. And it's like Zenitsu only has one form of breathing, and he's one-shotting demons, and I'm just like, I feel like he should at least have a couple of forms before he can just fight and, you know, just stay on par and actually be of any help in these battles. So like, that's the problem. There's no power system, like anything with a governing body. And I think that's what happened with Dragon Ball Z. They had a power system, but it was very loose. Like, they were doing it by numbers. Then like by the Frieza saga, it just got like out of control. It was insane. Like, basically, like, Frieza was like power levels like in the millions. They just stopped using the Scouter because it didn't make any sense. It got so broken, and that's when they saved it. Akira Toriyama saved it by then introducing forms. But even now, as we see, we're in Dragon Ball Super, and it's become an issue, because it's like, how many more forms can you introduce? Now you have Dragon Ball Super Hero or Legends, whatever, where they just have a bunch of different forms. It's like, which one is stronger? Like, that's the issue. But that's a better issue than Demon Slayer is just random plot armor where what's her name, Nezuko, just transforms into an adult and just beats an upper rank demon. Doesn't make any sense. It's kind of what happened with Hunter x Hunter. Like, they were like, how are we gonna get Gon to be able to stand up to Chimera Ants? Like, they're obviously not there yet. So they did. I like how they threw it in there, and I know Hunter x Hunter came back. I gotta check out the manga. You guys should check it out. But yeah, Gon lost all, like, from what his transformation, he lost. Sorry, it's a spoiler. He lost all of his Nen ability. I'm sure he'll get it back, because come on, he's a main character. Or maybe he's not the main character anymore. Who knows where they'll go with it. But yeah, that's kind of what is bothering me about the show. My last issue is there needs to be some type of, what word am I looking for? Like, coherence? Or maybe like, we just need to bring everything full circle with this breathing stuff. Like, yes, we understand that Tanjiro is trying to unlock whether it's sun breathing or, I mean, because he's doing, I think it's flame breathing. Okay, so no, flame breathing was what that last Hashira that died in Mugen Train, that was his thing. But Tanjiro's like sun breathing, which is a little bit different, and it seems to be very strong. He can barely do it. Like, he always gets really fatigued when he tries it, and he's better with it. But like, water breathing isn't good. But basically what I'm trying to get at is, we need a hierarchy of breathing tiers. Like, and are there an infinite amount of tiers? Like, breathing, can you just make your own? Like, you see how Inosuke just lived on the mountain, and now he just does beast breathing, which in my opinion is the coolest one. But I feel like, is he making up these forms? Because like in season 2, when he's like beast breathing form, whatever, and then he just starts sawing off her neck. I'm like, is this an actual form, or are you just making this stuff up? Like, so at this point, I'm kind of questioning what we need to know. Like, which forms are the strongest? How many forms are there? Are there infinite amount? Can you create your own? And how do you know which was stronger than the other? Or are they not stronger than the other? Is it just about how you train them? But I guess, do some of them have weaknesses to others? Maybe I missed this in the first season. Like, would flame breathing have a weakness to water breathing? Is that a thing? Would sound breathing have like a weakness? Like, where does sound breathing even come into the play? Does this grant the magical abilities, or is it just like only a sword-based type of fighting style, and the attacks, or because it's a little, I don't know, it's just a little ambiguous. But other than that, yeah, that seems to be about it for the video. Now that brings me up to another point that reminds me, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, I feel like they ran into the same issue, because they started with Hamon, which is kind of like a breathing thing. So yeah, like maybe Demon Slayer paying homage to the whole breathing thing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but then out of nowhere they just Well, I don't know. They just got with stands. Like, that was the only anime I've ever seen where I feel like they were winging it. Like, they did not plan, because they had a whole system of how they were fighting and how they were, like, just their energy system, their power system. And then next thing you know, it was like, oh yeah, we got stands. We don't use Hamon anymore. Like, I think Joseph Joestar may have used it once in, like, the season where he was a lot older. He may have used it like one time. Other than that, they never used Hamon again. And yeah, so I'm gonna make a video on that, on their power scaling, and why the show is, I guess it is bizarre. The title fits the show, because at this point it makes no sense. But that was the video, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm right, if I'm wrong, or if I'm tweaking. But appreciate you for sticking it out the whole video. And as always, find your Zen, your final form. I'll see you next time, guys.